Good afternoon, student. I'll be continuing the same chapter. Chapter 3, Economic, Social and Cultural Impact of British Rule, page 53. And these are the topic which I'm going to discuss today. The last class I've explained up to the woman question, abolition of sati rights. So today's first topic is Widow Remarriage Act 1856. Another issue of the 19th century was the problem of widow remarriage in the Hindu society in the middle of the 19th century. After the sati, another important issue of the 19th century was the problem of widow remarriage in the Hindu society. In the middle of the 19th century, as Raja Raj Ballabh of Dhaka, now in Bangladesh, tried to introduce widow remarriage in the local Hindu society. Why he wanted to introduce this widow remarriage in the local Hindu society? Because as his own daughter became a widow at very tender age, and Raja wanted to marry her daughter again. For this, he consulted the learned pandits, and even the pandit gave the opinion that the widow remarriage is permissible in some certain circumstances. But effort of Raja could not succeed as the opposition of another influential ruler like Raja Krishna Chandra of Naida opposed this widow remarriage issue. Raja Ram Mohan Roy had sympathy towards the cause of the widows, but he did not done anything concrete for the remarriage of the Hindu widows. From the 30s of the century, the question of widow remarriage became important. From the early 30s, the question of the widow remarriage became important as the movement was logical after the abolition of sati in 1829. Even the Christian missionaries, the British India Society, and even the Young Bengal group also took the cause of widow remarriage, but their attempt was not also succeeded. It was until Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar took up the cause. Until that, Vidyasagar took up the cause, and it became a historic and dynamic social issues, and eventually succeeded in 1856. Next topic is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar 1820 to 1891. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar 1820 to 1891 was born in a remote village of Bengal. After primary schooling, he came to Calcutta and got admission in a well-known Sanskrit college of Calcutta in 1841. In 1841, he passed out from the college and got the title of Vidyasagar. In 1851, he became the principal of the Sanskrit college. As the miserable condition of the Hindu widow was one of the evils which draws the attention of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. For that, he also wrote many articles on the evils of the early marriage, and he also realized the widow remarriage campaign should be backed by reference to authoritative slokas or verses in the Shastras. Vidyasagar then wrote a pamphlet on widow remarriage in 1855 basis on the Shastras. In this pamphlet, he argued in favor of widow remarriage. In this pamphlet, which was written in 1855, argued in favor of widow remarriage. The pamphlet was a clear evidence of the great compassion for the suffering of the woman. This pamphlet showed that this pamphlet was a clear evidence that Vidyasagar had great compassion for the suffering of the women flock. The pamphlet caused a strife in the country and heated controversy started, but Vidyasagar remained undaunted by all the adverse comments, criticism and reaction, and proceeded with his mission. But Vidyasagar remained undaunted by all the adverse comments. He was given criticism and reaction, but he still proceeded with his mission. The petition signed by many distinguished men of Bengal was submitted to the Legislative Council praying for legalizing widow remarriage. Similarly, separate petition were sent to the Maharaja of Burdwan and Zamindar of Nabadip, Dhaka and Meman Singh. Widow remarriage and Vidyasagar now became the subject matter of press and promptly, and it was a household topic and discussion. Even the orthodox Hindu leaders of the Hindu society did not remain idle. A petition against the oppose of legalization of widow remarriage was sent by them. If the orthodox Hindus led by Raja Radhakantadev, there were numerous other petition and counter petition, but the effort of the conservative proved abortive. Thus, J.P. Grant, a member of the Legislative Council, took initiative in the matter, and finally on July 26, the Act of 15 of 1856 was passed legalizing marriage of widow. The widow remarriage got the legal sanction, but it was practiced in fail. After the early excitement was over, now Vidyasagar found himself alone. Even in the midst of despair, Vidyasagar firmly continued the widow remarriage movement till his death in 1891. The widow remarriage became popular in the northern and western India. The Arya Samaj founded by Dayanand Saraswati encouraged widow remarriage in Punjab. This widow remarriage was became popular in northern and western India, and the Arya Samaj founded by Dayanand Saraswati encouraged widow remarriage in Punjab. In western India, the movement was led by Vishnu Parsuram Pandit and Govind Ranade. Though widow remarriage movement failed to find wide acceptance, widow remarriage movement failed to find wide acceptance in Hindu society, still the Hindu society feel the need of reform in the society. Next topic is Female Infanticide Prevention Act of 1870. The history of child infanticide was seen in ancient Greece. There was two important cities in this, namely Athens and Sparta. The history of child infanticide was seen in ancient Greece. Child infanticide meaning that the child was killed before he or she was born. There were two important cities named Athens and Sparta. They had rivalry for a long time on different issues. Athens was superior, as Athens is considered as the superior intellectual activities, where Sparta as in military state with powerful army. When a weak child was born in Sparta, the baby was put to death because weak person would not serve military purpose. According to Spartan society, when the weak child was born, the baby was put to end because weak person would not serve military purposes of the state. Apart from Greece, there were a long history of general infanticide in Europe going back to antiquity. This infanticide means the child was killed before or after born. Even not in Greece, but in Europe also, this infanticide was going on, when it seems to have extremely common. In the 16th and 17th century, when the church stranded its hold over the moral conduct of the population. In the 16th and 17th century, the church stranded its hold. Now the church hold is stranded its hold over the moral conduct of the population. It sought to help the state of the law enforcement. Now this church want to help the state of law enforcement. To the church, infanticide became a series of offense. Child infanticide became a serious offense, as if a child is killed, he is deprived of baptism and opportunity of salvation. Infanticide became a crime that carried with a penalty. So from that onwards, infanticide became a crime and carried with a penalty of death. In the next class, I will be explaining with female infanticide in India. The age of consent 18, 91, the impact of the eggs. That's all for today. Thank you.